everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. Here the sun is just about to go down. I'm actually recording this on a Wednesday because it's gonna get rainy this week, and so I've been trying to encourage my volunteer gardeners to come along and do some digging. As anyone with chickens will tell you, chickens are really good at turning over the soil, but for whatever reason my chickens have shown very little interest in where my corn was, so I'm probably going to have to go in there by hand and move some stuff around, and I'm going to have to do it with some of the other things as well. The weather has been super cold here this week. Like, we've had a really hard frost every night. It's actually been really cold in the valley as well. In fact, some days I think it's been colder in the valley than we've had it up here. That hasn't stopped my broccoli from doing broccoli things. We've got some flowers coming on there right now, so I don't know what's going to happen with the broccoli. But some of this broccoli, if you can see here, is looking really nice, and some of it's just looking a little bit stressed and threatening to go to seed, which obviously at this time of year I don't think much is going to come of it. But I'm starting to work on tidying up the garden. As you know, I had a motorbike accident, or a scooter accident, whatever you want to call it, a couple of weeks ago, and that's meant I haven't been out in the garden as much. Then it was Thanksgiving, and then it's been really cold. My wife is also trying to put insulation in her wood shop so that she can work in the wood shop in the winter without us putting a huge amount of money into heating it. So this is kind of what's left of my corn. I need to weed and I need to remove all of that. My plan for next year is to put my garlic here, I think. So the two options are to put garlic here, or if you come with me, to put the garlic down here, which was a new bed for this year, and this is where all of our squashes were. Now, we didn't have a very strong squash harvest this year, partly because, as you can see, there's lots of shade. And my friend Bill, who watches this channel, hi Bill, he said, you know, your garden's in the wrong place. You really need to move your garden to the other side of your house. And we are definitely, I'm not going to lie, we are definitely strongly considering it. It would mean moving things like the raspberries and the strawberries, maybe, although the raspberries did really well here this year. No, I haven't pruned them back. I'm going to wait until the spring. Same thing for the strawberries. The strawberries were okay here. Obviously, there's a lot of weeds there now because I've let weeds grow, but it's been okay. The greenhouse, not a lot's going on in the greenhouse. It's just kind of become a storage space for the year. It's amazing though how much warmer things are in here just by virtue of having this lovely roof on the greenhouse. This is where I'm keeping the straw. I'm going to be using that for some of my plants to keep them warm during the winter. I kind of use it as a bit of a mulch. There'll also be some straw there that will end up going in for the chickens. We've got some chicken bedding there, and there we actually use hemp. This particular product comes from Canada, and it is a hemp product. We used to be able to get it from someone locally, but when COVID came along, I don't know if he was ill or if he just decided to get out of hemp farming or whatever. But we are no longer able to get hold of hemp bales. There is a little bit of moisture on here, but these are sealed, so they should be just fine. After all, the feed store stores them outside in a similar kind of environment to what we have here. So I'm not going to worry about it all that much. Good news on the chicken front. The chickens have just about stopped molting. We still don't have any eggs yet, but we live in hope. Eggs are but a few weeks away, I hope. And obviously, in about 2 to 3 weeks' time, well, our days are going to start getting longer again. I know the US East Coast even, apparently I can't worm today, the US East Coast is seeing some really terrible weather. Also, there's a lot of lake effect snow, which is a result of the weather pattern that we are seeing this year. We are not expected to get a super cold winter here, although, as I say, it's been well below freezing every night for the last 5 or 6 nights. So by the time you watch this, hopefully the daytime temperatures will have increased, the nighttime temperatures will have increased, but it will be raining again. And one of the things that I absolutely need to do to this house is take care of the gutters. The problem is, with my knee as it is right now, I really do not want to climb up a ladder and be on the roof. My knee operation is probably about 85% back to normal. I've actually already ridden my maxi scooter, Hemmer. I rode Hemmer last weekend. I was hoping to get out on Hemmer this week, but I've just been so busy trying to get ahead for the holidays that hasn't happened. And it's going to be raining this weekend, so I'm not going to be riding Hemmer in heavy rain. So that will just have to wait until the weather is nice again. But sitting on a maxi scooter and riding and being able to put your knee down is one thing. But as I've noticed, when I've been moving around the house, occasionally twisting my knee, trying to shift my weight, when I was helping in the shop the other day, I got a sudden twinge in my knee because I just shifted weight a bit weirdly. And obviously it's one thing to do that when you're on the ground, but when you're up there on a ladder or on the roof and you're trying to blow away all of the leaves out of the gutter, not necessarily a smart move. We do have one of those extensions that can come up and blow out the ground floor gutter from the ground floor. So we'll probably try and do that pretty quickly, because obviously this will cause all kinds of flooding on our guttering system. But definitely getting up onto the second floor roof is quite out of the question right now. Luckily though, the ground has soaked up all of the last load of rain that we had, because we had a lot of rain a couple of weeks ago, and I think this next lot of rain will be great for the water table. We didn't have any major droughts here, although other parts of Oregon did have and are still in a drought. We are officially now out of drought, I believe, only just. And I've not moved the leaves yet. I will probably need to rake the leaves and mulch pretty soon, because as you can see, the leaves are actually turning a wonderful colour. They've all fallen down. There are a few trees that still have, the occasional leaves on them, but most of our deciduous trees have now deciduousness. The leaves have come off. I just made that word up. I'm allowed to make words up when it's my own channel, apparently. Although I'm sure someone will tell me, no, you cannot do that. But no, all of this water is going to be great for the water table, because we really do need to replenish after what has been historically pretty dry period of time. And I know for the Pacific Northwest, we get a lot more rain than, say, California, but I would much rather get that rain steadily over many, many months than have it suddenly come down all in one go and for us to be in a lot of trouble when it comes to flooding. You'll note that the only trees really not to lose their leaves yet in any kind of large amount are my apple trees, but as you can see, these leaves are definitely ready to come off. I need to do some pruning of this apple tree for next year, especially with this branch here that's kind of come right from the ground there. This one needs to be taken care of, and I'll be taking care of that in the spring. And all of these leaves obviously are just about to fall off. We have now lost the last of the fruit that was on there. I think we had an apple that was on there that looks like it's disappeared. Probably a critter or something has taken it. In terms of everything else though, well, it's generally a hunkering down time, a time for cooking with lots of root veg. The parsnips are still growing. Frost supposedly makes parsnips taste better. Don't know if I've ever really subscribed to that theory, but these are what is left of my parsnips, and you can see some of them are still growing. I've got one down there, I've got some there, And of course over here we have some parsnips from last year. Now I need to go through all of these tubs and get them ready for next year, including getting rid of some of these seeds and this. Look, pernicious stuff that's come through the bottom of the pot and is now growing up. That's some bramble. We don't want that. We need to get rid of that post haste. But now that the frost has come, we've seen a lot of things die off, and I guess we're very much into that cold weather vibe. So grab a nice cup of tea or some other favourite warm beverage that you like, and bring in your plants. If you've got plants that are sensitive to cold temperatures, they really need to be indoors by now if you live in Oregon. And if you live in other states, well, you probably missed the deadline, because in most parts of the country where it does get cold, like Minnesota, for example, they've had some really cold weather in the last week. They had a real shift in temperature. So I hope that if you are in one of those cold places, you've got your winter tires on, you've got your nice cold weather gear, and you're keeping yourself safe and warm. And of course, I will be back this time next week. Oh, and if you have chickens, now is the time to start feeding them, on a cold day, just making sure you give them something warm in the morning, a bit of oatmeal, a bit of porridge, make sure it's cooled down to a sensible temperature. Imagine that you are giving it to a baby, and then the kind of temperatures that you would find acceptable for a baby, you're probably about the same kind of temperatures for your chooks. They will really love you if you do that. Throw in some mealworms too, and you've got some lovely, warm, instant, happy chickens first thing in the morning. Thanks for joining me today, and if you've got any thoughts, make sure you leave them below in our Discord chat room, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are some of the more than 1,500 people who help fund this channel through Patreon and YouTube, helping us cover our bills, pay our team, and making sure that we can remain 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed below, just follow the links. There are a range of different tiers you can sign up for, from as little as $1 a month, or if you pay yearly, just about $10.08 a year. A huge welcome to our newest supporters: Conrad Young, Neon Frog, Siobhan Greeny, Alan Savage, Scotty, Ray Mario, Jennifer, Nesklova, and the Lord of Chaos. Thanks for becoming part of the TE crew. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations, and we even have an old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at. The address is also linked below. And if you're in need of some swag, you'll find our swag store also in the down below. We've got some great content coming up, so make sure you're subscribed on PeerTube or YouTube, and we'll see you again soon. We make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we here also think that this one is well worth a look. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving.